Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Man shot and killed at Mall Plaza succumbs to injuries. A man who was shot and injured during a daring midday hit on Tuesday at the Mall Plaza in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew, has succumbed to his injuries. The deceased has been identified as Prince Charles Winter, otherwise called Finger. According to eyewitnesses, around 3:50 p.m., two men on a motorbike rode up, shooting Winter multiple times before escaping. A team of officers nearby responded quickly to the scene, but the assailants had already made their escape. The victim, who was taken to hospital with critical injuries, later died. Police say investigations into the incident will continue. State of public emergency declared in 10 police divisions.
This morning, His Excellency, the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, declared a state of public emergency in the parishes of Clarendon, St. Catherine, and specified areas in the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, and a state of public emergency as well in the parishes of St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover. So there are two separate declarations of states of public emergency. One we consider to be the Southern Crescent, and the other the Western Tri-Parishes. The Commissioner of Police and the Chief of Defence Staff will give details on these declarations. The government, after careful consideration on the advice of the security chiefs, decided to advise the Governor General that it was necessary and indeed appropriate to declare states of public emergency in these areas. We have seen an increase in criminal activities in these areas, and indeed a threat to property and, in some instances, public disorder. It is important to note that we are also approaching the Christmas season. And this will require the deployment of even greater resources, sometimes resources that our security forces do not have. And therefore, the government has to act in a preemptive way. The government has to act in such a way as to maximize the resources that we have to save lives and property from the threats that exist.
PSOG says possible 50% productivity loss could follow strike by taxi and bus operators. Private sector groups say there could be an estimated productivity loss of 50% following Monday's strike by public passenger operators. The Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, the MSME Alliance, and the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association echoed the call for an urgent and amicable resolution to the issues faced by the operators. PSOJ President Keith Duncan told reporters that the impact of this strike are far-reaching and pose a severe blow to efforts being made to restore the country's growth. Duncan stressed the importance of inclusive and constructive dialogue with all stakeholders.
The country cannot afford any further setbacks to normalcy, as it has already seen the negative repercussions across sectors during the pandemic, including learning loss by the children and reduced operation in businesses. It is unfortunate that we are where we are today, but we cannot condone lawlessness, and therefore we are calling for inclusive and constructive dialogue with all stakeholders, inclusive of the Government of Jamaica and the transport associations, to work through to an amicable resolution of the situation.
Opposition suggests that part be tied to parents' participation in PTA activities. Opposition spokesman on education Damon Crawford suggesting that the participation of children in the program of Advanced Through Health and Education path be tied to their parents' participation in PTA activities. This suggestion was one of several made by the People's National Party spokesman at a press conference addressing violence in schools. Speaking at the press conference, Mr. Crawford said access to PATH should be assessed on a term-by-term basis.
We ask that the government consider to tie the PATH program to parent participation in PTA activities, as well as parents and guardians showing up when requested by the school. Continuation of access to PATH should therefore be on a term report basis, where schools indicate that parents have shown interest and has come to school whenever they are requested.
Project to reduce garbage entering the Kingston Harbor to be expanded. A project to reduce garbage entering the Kingston Harbor is expected to be expanded into the coming months. The project, which is a collaborative venture, including local entities and international agency, the Ocean Cleanup, has been seen positive results so far. Kingston Mayor Delroy Williams notes that in the initial phase of the project, focus was placed on trapping debris from 3 gullies that empty into the Kingston Harbor using what's called the barrier technology. The pilot phase involved the introduction of garbage from 3 gullies. Mayor Williams said the intention is to widen the scope of the project to collect garbage from 12 gullies.
They started that with 3. They met with us last week and they are now moving from that phase. They have learned many lessons from it and they now are expanding that to 12 and starting somewhere from Marcus Garvey Drive coming all the way. And they have said to us clearly that there are some design issues, that there are some issues that they have to change with respect to design based on what they have observed with the experiment of the 3. And so now, and they have asked us to do some things also, which I am to speak with the Minister of Local Government on, because in order for them to put in the other barriers, and there are some cleaning necessary at some of the gullies to ensure that it's in order for them to do the construction that is necessary.
Over 20 firearms surrendered under gun amnesty, says Security Minister. More than 20 firearms have been handed over to the authorities under the gun amnesty, says Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang. The amnesty, which is now in effect, began on Saturday, November 5th and is slated to end at midnight on Saturday, November 19. Dr. Chang provided the update during a press conference at the office of the Prime Minister in St. Andrew on Tuesday, where Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced states of public emergency in several parishes and police divisions island-wide. Chang stated that many of the firearms are from individuals who have not licensed the weapons for several years. There are many persons in Jamaica who might have inherited a firearm from their grandfather or father or acquired it by some other means, usually by legacy, or they might not have the license for the firearm for several years, the Security Minister stated. So far, we have gone well over 20, largely from individuals who had firearms locked away in safe. I am satisfied with this because we do not wish for any of these individuals to be caught in the new net we are setting out for these illegal firearms, he said. The 2-week gun amnesty is being facilitated following the approval of the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Firearms Amnesty Order 2022 by Parliament. The conditions for the surrender of firearms or ammunition are outlined in the order. They may be handed over to a sub-officer or senior sub-officer on duty at any police station, any designated area at the Firearms Licensing Authority FLA location, or to an attorney at law on behalf of an individual seeking the amnesty for delivery to the nearest police station. The amnesty is a lost opportunity for those who hold or are in possession of illegal firearms or ammunition to avoid significant sentences and forms an important milestone in Jamaica's fight against illegal guns. Breaches of the new Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act 2022, which is now in effect, will result in penalties ranging from 15 years to life imprisonment. 2 dead in Westmoreland collision. The Westmoreland police are investigating the circumstances surrounding a 2-vehicle crash at the Stratborough Crossroad in the parish, which claimed the lives of 2 people on Monday, November 14. The deceased are Jamal Watson, a 16-year-old student, and Orrin Campbell, a 29-year-old laborer, both of Porter's Mountain addresses in the parish. Reports from the Savannah Lamar police are that about 3 p.m., Watson and Campbell were on a motorcycle traveling northerly along the Stratborough Main Road. Upon reaching a section of the road, it is alleged that Watson tried to overtake a line of traffic when he collided with a white Toyota Hiace bus, which was traveling in the opposite direction. Both Watson and Campbell died from injuries they sustained in the accident. The driver of the Toyota Hiace motor bus was interviewed and given a breathalyzer. He was warned for prosecution and released pending investigation. Please remember, to subscribe, like, share, and click the